All right.
You got anything to show, Taylor? Or are you just gonna talk?
Yeah, you betcha. Can I choose a window instead of my whole screen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I can. Excellent. Here you go, guys.
Look great. Important
Yeah.
conclusion.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go from the ground up.
Before we jump in, I did see that Plainland mentioned Tinykin. Tinykin, great game, but Lunestis is probably a
Lunestici.
replacement to that.
Lunestici.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a great game. Like, you know, if you're still in that platforming vein, like that would be number 2 recommendation of that this year. And
All right.
continue.
So I'll start mine off with the list of games that I played is already kind of limited. The list of games that I completed is even smaller. The total amount of games on this list that I completed, I don't want to say. Anyway, let's get to it. Important inclusions. We're going to start with this.
Yeah.
The Mister is an incredible device. And picking up a CRTV TV this year was transformative in that regard. I played several very good games that are too old to include on this list. The Mister was, kind of foundational in being able to do that. If you're a person that wants to play games on a CRT or even on an HDTV and you're kind of like, if you have even the hint of purist tendencies of wanting to play it exactly how it was on the system, there is kind of no alternative. Anyway, moving on. Honorable mentions. So here's my not top 5. Cult of the Lamb, very good game. We already talked about it. It was a lot of fun, kind of short, but good. I liked it. Dome Keeper. I don't know. Dome Keeper was just distilled game.
Yeah, I just started playing Dome Keeper on,
Yeah.
on the Steam Deck, and that's a great
really
Steam
good on
Deck
Steam
game.
Deck.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so good on Steam Deck.
It is.
Like the map fits perfectly on Steam Deck. It requires so few button inputs, and like it's not a Twitch game, and it works wonderful. It's just a pleasure to play. I enjoyed my time with it a lot. Rogue Legacy 2.
Yeah.
Did that come out this year?
That was this year, dog.
That was this year.
Like I said, this year was stacked with like think about like 3 years ago, Rogue Legacy 2 was a top 5 game.
Yeah,
Rogue Legacy 2 was great. It's really good.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it. I would have put it on my list.
Another really good Steam Deck game.
Yeah.
That shit fucking slaps on Steam Deck. Neon White, mentioned on several people, made it in the top 5 on a few others, just didn't make it into mine. I was top 10 on several levels in the first couple weeks, just throwing that out there. I like that game a lot. All right, here we go. Now you might notice
Rusty's
that I'm on
Real Deal Baseball. I knew it.
Now you might notice that I'm on line 7 on a top 5. Now that's because I've included an important addendum to the list, which is number 6, the Steam Deck, the Silent Killer. It's I know it's not
Killer.
I know it's not a game, but I feel like it's, and we've mentioned it a few times, but I feel like it's kind of too important to me to not mention.
It's been the deciding factor for some of the games on my list. Like,
Yeah.
For me, it's a deciding factor because I don't play many of these games as much, if at all, without it existing. Period. My daughter turns 2 in February. That with time as it is, it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I had to include it in some place. So obviously it doesn't count as top 5, but I wanted to make sure it was mentioned in the vein, in the same sentences as the big guns. All right, number 5, Vampire Survivors. It was good. I liked it a lot. I still play it a lot, and I started dipping back in now that they released 1.0. I'm excited for the DLC.
Yeah, I just bought it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the game that you can sit down and play. Doesn't matter what the context is. Pretty soon you unlock the option where you go at double time. So instead of runs being 30 minutes long, they're only 15 minutes long, and you're like, that's great. And you just keep going. Number 4 is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Probably one of the only, I think, it's my only Nintendo Switch game on my list, I think. Mostly because Steam Deck came in and I started to like leave Nintendo Switch behind mostly. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is, for all the same reasons we already talked about, an extremely good game. And also one of the games that I didn't finish, but I will soon. Number 3, Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is a very good video game. That's about all I'll say about it. I don't know. I don't think I need to say that much more. It's yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's top 5. It's very good. I like it. Number 2 is Dwarf Fortress. It only came out, was it like 8 days ago?
Something like that.
Something like that. Obviously, it's been out for
25 years.
20. I think it was 2002. So, but it was definitely after the year 2000. But as it is now, is almost a completely different entity than the original ASCII version, and it is an incredible interactive experience. And I don't know how to describe it other than that. Everybody should play it. All right, and my top is Tunic. Yeah, wow, Tunic is
nice.
The most game that, like, of every game that I've mentioned, and every game that I played this year, if I could forget it and play it again, it would be Tunic. 100%. And I think increasingly that's the game that is the most valuable to me of the one that I played that year, is the one where if I could forget it and replay it and relive that experience, that's the one that I would probably call my game of the year. And this year was Tunic. Like last year it was, I got to kind of fit Outer Wilds in there, because the expansion came out, and so I had played it right before our game of the year nods that year. But yeah, I mean, this year it was Tunic for sure.